Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Rest in Peace Department, the video game. God, I hate my job sometimes. There are times when it is vitally important that I make you aware of horrible things beyond the veil. R.I.P.D is most assuredly one of those things. Usually, I'd actually just avoid covering a game like this entirely, because like, oh, it's another shitty film cash-in, okay, whatever, not really a big deal. It's unfortunately a reality of our industry that these games exist, we just tend to ignore them and hopefully they go away. But this is a special case, because this is by old school games. This is by the developers of smash hit God Mode. The horrendously cynical, and not in a good way either, wave-based nonsense waste of time game that came out 3 months ago, actually. Less than 3 months ago. It was 2 months and about 28 days. And somehow, not really sure how they pulled this off, but somehow they've released a new game. How did that happen, you might ask? That's incredibly impressive development time. Man, not even the port for Pac-Man was done so quickly for Atari. Close enough. It's impressive, isn't it? Until you realize what it is. They bloody reskinned God Mode. They actually did it. They reskinned God Mode. Incredible. Let's find out what kind of a travesty this damn thing is. If you're looking for a balanced opinion of this game, you're not going to get it. Yep. Having played about an hour of it, I want to kill myself. I'm sorry, I do. It is the most mind-numbing, monotonous, repetitive bollocks I've had the displeasure to play in quite some time. So, this is going to be all negative. Well, it's not all going to be negative. Most of it is. I'll give them a couple of credits here and there, but yeah. Anyway, I know what my opinion is. Let's get into this damn thing. Alright, let's check the options menu. At least they actually have some. This time around, by the way, the game isn't locked to 40 frames per second. I know, it's a massive leap from God Mode, I can tell you that for a fact. It's reasonable. Audio sliders, controls can be rebound, I believe. Yes, they can, which is good. I would mess with the sensitivity because, just like God Mode, the gun handling is god-awful. So, I would suggest that you do that. There is nothing in this control menu that should surprise you really in any way, shape, or form. Very, very basic game. So yeah, it's got what it needs. So this is designed as a two-player co-op game. You can also play it in single-player. The gimmick within two-player co-op is that you can bet against the other guy and kind of a challenge things like, oh, I'll get the most kills and so on and so forth. And then it becomes kind of a cooperative score attack game. Aside from that, the mechanics of the game appear to be identical regardless. So we're going to head on into a custom match here, and we'll show you exactly what's going on. You have two characters, as opposed to God Mode, where you can actually customize your character. Here you have badly modeled Jeff Bridges, and badly modeled Ryan Reynolds, I think it is, in that movie? Yeah, I assume so. As far as I know, they both do exactly the same thing, as you can tell. The game has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maps. So we will go into that. It doesn't really matter which one you play on as far as I can tell. The objectives appear to be the same regardless. So just like God Mode, you start with only a couple of weapons. In this case, they're kind enough to give you 3. The pistol, the submachine gun, and the pump shotgun. Which is... all of those weapons are actually dreadful, which is definitely unhelpful, I'm afraid. The game itself has a bunch of unlockable weapons. You do not start with this stuff. That's based on the movie, I believe. It's pretty much bog standard weapons across the board, really, as you would expect. The harpoon gun being the only relatively interesting one. That and the banana and the hairdryer, which are joke weapons based on the movie. If you beat all of the game, you get to unlock the banana and the hairdryer. They also have some basic upgrades available, so we might want to look into that. I do have enough cash for an upgrade, so let's do that. Am I sure I wish to upgrade this weapon? I guess, but since it's not telling me what the upgrade's going to be, I don't know if I should or not. Alright, okay, so there we go. It is going to let me know that. So it's going to pump it up to there. Okay, fine. Seems reasonable to me. There we go. So we will go, I think, with the pump shotty. Should we go with the pump shotty? Yeah, I guess so. The pump shotty and the upgraded SMG. You can also buy a consumable. These do cost, as you can see. We'll give you a couple of extra benefits, and these disappear after the level is done. Okay. That might not be a bad idea. There we go. Let's grab that one. Okay. Let's start, shall we? We will start with the meth lab. Unfortunately, the problem this game has, which actually makes it in some respects worse than God mode, if you can believe that, is the fact that these levels are way more boring, but it gets a lot worse than that. A lot worse. Trust me, let's get into it. Alright. God damn it. I just got off playing through a full game of this, and I was so bored by the end of it. I wanted to quit, but I wanted to see what would happen at the end. Nothing happens at the end. Nothing. So what is it? It's a wave-based third-person shooter. Yeah. It's a case of, hey, you know horde modes that are in other games as bonus modes? We're going to make a whole game based on that. Only we're not actually going to make it any good. So, what does it actually require? There are 5 encounters, at least on this particular difficulty, and enemies are going to randomly appear out of thin air and run at you. You will then shoot them. And that is the video game. That's pretty much as far as it goes, I am afraid. Now, what you will at least get every now and again is a challenge, which will allow you to increase your score and the amount of gold earned, and also varies things up just a little bit. Now, you also have kill streaks, because Lord knows you cannot make a game these days without having sodding kill streaks. So, there are 5 different abilities you will eventually unlock by getting kills, and so on and so forth, and you'll be unable to unleash them once you have got the red bar up to the top of the screen high enough. It's okay, don't worry, he can't actually hit me. I've never had this guy legitimately hit me with that thing, so this might very well be a first, but there you go. This is it. This is all there is. This is gonna go on for about 25 minutes. I kid you not. As much as I would have liked to switch to a different weapon, it doesn't give you access to another weapon at this stage. You need to unlock it, and that's gonna take at least 2 playthroughs of these damn levels, which do take a fairly significant amount of time. As you can see, the kill streaks deploy various things. There's a turret, there is a kind of crowd control method thingy, which allows you to lock down a few of the enemy units for a while. I don't even know what happened there, quite frankly. I don't even know what I can do there. I guess that's designed for the co-op side of things. I got stuck in a corner and then a barrel exploded right next to me. That was fun. Now, every now and again, you will get a challenge like Gold Rush. Collect 5 artifacts in 1 minute. I've had this challenge like 3 times already. They don't appear to be all that many challenges. Let's just put it that way. So, there we go. There's one of them. I'll be damned if I can actually find them all. Fairly unlikely that I managed to pull it off. It'll give you bonus gold and bonus score, and that's really about it. That's all it really does. Now, there are no weapon pickups and no power-ups anywhere in the level. Ever. It's all bound to your loadout. You know what? I've come to hate loadouts. I really, really have. You know what loadouts cause to happen? Loadouts cause you to pick all of your stuff prior to going into the map, so the idea of picking up power-ups and bonuses that varied the gameplay up as the level progressed disappeared into the ether and was replaced by killstreak bollocks. This game is astonishingly dull. And they've actually managed to make it duller, and this is what really impresses me, they've made it duller than God Mode. And God Mode was pretty damn dull. But you know what God Mode had going for it? A couple of things. Interesting levels, yeah, as in they were colorful and they were based on ancient mythology, which was quite nice. Interesting enemies rather than just any... God damn it. Apparently don't go anywhere near barrels in this game because you die almost immediately. What a pain in the arse. Ugh. Thank you very much. Eventually lets me respawn. So God Mode had those varied mythological levels, and they also forced you to go to different areas every time you had an encounter. Here they don't do that. You just hang around this level, and this level's not that big. Yeah? I can run around this level in about 30 seconds. It looks way larger than it actually is. It's actually tiny, because as you can see, oh look, this is all false. This is just an invisible wall. Oh look, it took me 10 seconds to run from one side of the level to the other. Yeah, that's not particularly impressive. It's not very imaginative either. So you had these nice looking kind of mythological levels in God Mode, one of the few perks that that game had, and it moved you from place to place, so at least it kind of kept you interested. Here, you don't even get that. You have to stick around the same level just shooting and shooting and shooting. And the other thing that God Mode did well, probably the only thing that I would say that God Mode did really well, that actually gave it a glimmer of hope in an otherwise incredibly boring, horrible cash-in of a dull title, was the idea that each of those little areas that you went into had a specific modifier, and those modifiers were kind of randomized. So some of them were beneficial, some of them weren't, and it kind of varied the combat up a little bit, but not by much, yeah? You were still stuck with the same 2 weapons, boring melee attacks, brainless AI, and a complete lack of actual co-op functionality. So in single player, this game is dreadful. In co-op, it's slightly better because you have the betting system. Yeah, so I can see there being a little bit of value there. It's like, hey, I can kill more guys than you kind of challenge system thrown into the game there. That's not enough to redeem it, though. What you have here is a very, very dull shooter. A horrible cash-in, and basically a reskin of their existing game. This game was developed in under 3 months, which means that it is using pretty much all of the assets from God Mode, but with some visuals from the Rest in Peace Department movie. That's it. That's all it is. That's horrible. Are you kidding me? It costs the same as God Mode does as well. It even has less co-op functionality. It only supports 2 players as opposed to the 4 that God Mode did. It's like, congratulations, you made a really bad video game, and you've somehow managed to make it worse. I mean, that takes a special kind of talent. Don't get me wrong. Shovelware is something that's been very common in the industry. I mean, it's been common for decades, for God's sake. But it's very rare that you see a company take their game, which wasn't all that great to begin with, and then just say, you know what, we could just throw some new assets in this, make it even duller and even worse than the original, and just sell that. That'll be fine, right? Where's your goddamn pride? Don't get me wrong, you know, it feels bad talking about someone like Old School Games, who are basically an indie, and saying, God damn it, how terrible these guys are. But the reality of the situation is that they made their game, which was God Mode. It wasn't very good. But then they said, you know what, we're going to prostitute that game out, and we're going to make a worse version of it to get a couple of bucks from whoever the hell it is that is doing Rest in Peace Department. It's dreadful. It is utterly dreadful. I'm trying to think of positives that I can say. And really, the only positives that I can come up with are in comparison to God Mode. Like, they've slightly improved the animation quality. Yeah? The gun sounds are slightly better, although not by much. But they feel identical. The SMG in this game and the shotgun in this game feel identical to the guns in God Mode, because that's probably what they are. And then you've got less variety of enemies, less interesting locales, and you get rid of the one system from God Mode which was actually good, and that was the damn random challenge mode system. At least they got rid of the irritating announcer. That's a start. This game is just everything that's wrong with video game development. It's like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make a cash-in. We're gonna make a horrible, horrible cash-in. We're gonna base it on a game that wasn't very good in the first place. And it's okay, because a bunch of people are going to buy it. I really hope this game fails horribly. I really do. I don't wish development houses to shut down, but I do wish development houses to stop making crap like this. I've said it many times before, if you're going to make a game that's purely based on horde mode, you better damn well make sure that it's good. Because it's a super limited concept, and it's the kind of thing that you will find for free in other video games. And this game fails in every aspect of that. Does it have interesting weapons? No. Does it have some kind of progression throughout the level, like, say, Killing Floor? No, it doesn't. Does it have a bunch of interesting challenges? No. Very limited selection of challenges that happen every now and again that aren't even all that interesting. Run around collecting 5 hidden golden police badges, or don't die. The lamest thing ever, don't die. Come on, really? That's not creative. At least God Mode's challenges were sometimes creative. The fact that it keeps you on the same level over and over again, so you get horribly bored by it, and there's really no sense of momentum and no sense of movement throughout the game. Jesus. It's done everything wrong. It's a hideous monstrosity of a title, and you should be avoiding it at all costs. I would be embarrassed. If I worked for that company, I'd be saying, right, well, this is a paycheck, but the fact of the matter is you put your damn name on it. You put your name on it. This wasn't contract work. This is by Old School Games, as it proudly proclaims in the starting splash screen. Please stop. Please. Rest in peace, department, ladies and gentlemen, which I very much hope rests in peace as quickly as humanly possible. I'm frickin' bored. I'll see you next time.